It started on a cold October evening when Lily's friends dared her to venture into Blackwood Forest alone. Rumors had swirled for generations about strange things happening there, whispered tales of creatures lurking just beyond the trees, shape-shifting beings called Skinwalkers that preyed on unsuspecting wanderers. Lily, always craving a thrill, accepted without hesitation. She was 16, fiercely curious, and convinced that the stories were just legends to scare kids. With her flashlight in hand, she hesitated at the edge of the woods as the last light of the sunset dipped below the horizon. The air was thick with the scent of damp leaves and moss, the silence broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. "It's just stories," she whispered to herself, trying to drown out the nagging voice of doubt. Stepping onto the leaf-littered trail, she pressed forward, daring to challenge the whispers of the woods. The deeper she went, the more the trees seemed to close in around her, their gnarled branches like bony fingers grasping at the dark sky. As minutes turned into hours, Lily's orientation became muddled. A strange feeling seeped into her bones, an icy dread she couldn't shake. She told herself it was just her imagination, that the woods played tricks on her mind. Then she saw it. Between the towering pines, a figure stood still, motionless but unmistakably human-shaped. Her heart pounded, every instinct screaming to turn back. She tightened her grip on her flashlight and hesitated. The figure didn't move at first but then tilted its head slightly, as if curious. Lily's lungs clenched, her instinct screaming to run, but her feet felt glued to the ground. Then she saw its face, a mask of patches, shifting and blending with the woods behind it. A face that was never truly human but something else altogether. The features reassembled in a flicker, eyeless sockets, elongated jaws, skin stretched in unnatural ways. Lily froze as the creature's mouth opened wider than should be possible, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. Suddenly, the figure darted into the shadows, transforming before her eyes. Its form elongated and bent, limbs stretching and twisting like wax melting in heat, becoming something completely different. Lily's eyes widened in horror. This was no ordinary creature. It was a skinwalker, a creature that could take the shape of anything it saw or smelled, but always with a hint of its true, terrifying form lurking beneath. She stumbled backward, her mind racing for an escape. Panic seized her as she realized she wasn't alone. More figures emerged from the darkness, their bodies shifting and swirling, blending with the surroundings. Some resembled animals. A wolf with too many eyes, a hound with fur that seemed to ripple like water. Others took on human forms, face distorted in silent screams, eyes hollow and soulless. Lily's breath hitched as one figure, tall and lean, approached with shuffling steps. It was a woman, at least, it looked like it. But the face was wrong, too smooth, too perfect, with a grin stretched unnaturally wide. Its eyes shone with a cold, menacing glint. Lily backed away, pressing her hand against her chest, fighting to stay conscious amidst the rising tide of terror. Suddenly, the creature lunged, and Lily shrieked as its hand, clawed and misshapen, grasped her wrist. Its touch was icy cold and slimy, like dead moss. She struggled to pull free, senses overwhelmed by the stench of rot and earth. Desperation overtook her as she recalled the stories of locals, how skinwalkers could mimic loved ones, lure victims in with false familiarity, then attack without mercy. Clutching the small talisman her grandmother gave her, an old, worn cross, Lily screamed and pushed away with all her might. The creature recoiled in surprise, a strange noise like a choked whimper escaping its twisted maw. Seizing her chance, she broke free, sprinting blindly through the woods, branches slapping her face and scratching her arms. Branches snapped behind her, and odd whispers filled the air, labels she couldn't quite understand but knew were meant to disorient her. A chorus of voices, all calling her name, some mocking, some pleading, some threatening. She ran faster, her heart thumping so loudly that she feared it might explode. Finally, she burst out of the woods and into the night air, gasping for breath. Her flashlight flickered and died, plunging her into total darkness. She looked behind. Nothing but the moonlit forest, silent and still. Her legs trembled, and tears streamed down her face. She had escaped, for now. But as she reached the edge of the woods, she saw a figure standing there, a person, or so it appeared. Its eyes glinted in the moonlight, and it grinned with too many teeth. Lily's blood ran cold. She remembered the stories. How skinwalkers could imitate anyone, even people they once knew. The figure stepped closer, silent except for the faint shuffling of its feet. Lily's mind raced. Was this her friend? Her brother? No, she realized with nauseating certainty. Nothing in the woods had been real, nothing but illusions and monsters. She turned and ran toward her house, never looking back. In her bedroom, safe for now, Lily clutched her talisman and stared at the dark window. The woods behind her house whispered with the wind, revealing a shadow slipping past the trees, an unnatural shadow, shapeless but alive. She knew the truth now. Skinwalkers weren't just stories. They could be anyone, anything, waiting patiently for a moment when you let your guard down. And she knew, deep inside her bones, that she'd never truly escaped them. Not entirely. She might have run away from the woods, but the creatures were always watching, waiting for the next moment to blend in, to shapeshift, to strike again. Because in Blackwood Forest, the line between human and monster was always thin, and some things were better left undiscovered.